Ladies and gentlemen, the moment you have all been waiting for. Episode 17 of the Prime Podcast. I am your host, Coast. That is your other host, Fatz. Say what the fuck is up, man.
What's going on? Peace to the primates. Yeah.
Oh, there we go with the electronic applause. Thank you. You're far too kind.
We gotta have it. You know what I'm saying?
I guess we do. In the mind of you, we must have an electronic applause. So here we are again. We were just here yesterday. And I don't know. I don't know what to say.
Hey, listen, our recording schedule is like so crazy and topsy-turvy. We try to get these episodes in whenever we can. You know what I mean?
That's right.
So what was going on? You were telling me that your day was action-packed. So what did you get into today?
I had tacos.
Uh-huh.
I was in my backyard.
Right.
The kids were playing
Uh-huh.
with their toys, and Danielle got like a splish splash thing. What's it called? It's like a slip and slide, but it's got a fucking like a little pool at the end, and water shoots up.
Right.
So they were out there playing with that shit, and I was on the porch playing with my shit. You know, I was trying to. I want to put a TV. I put a TV out there. I don't know what's gonna happen, if the rain is gonna get it or not. It's like a little fucking. I don't know if you weren't in Long Island yet, so I don't know if you had Cablevision like fucking 10 years ago. They gave away these little TVs.
Right.
They were little like 20-inch black flat, the flat screens.
Right.
These little tiny pieces of shit. And Danielle had it from when she was a kid. It was in her room. Not a kid, but like 10 years ago.
Right.
And then it was just sitting in a closet. So what I did was I unscrewed the back of it. I took the back panel off it. And I have these metal hooks that are in the bricks of my porch for some reason. I don't know. I guess the previous owner hung them. They're rusted to shit. They look like they've been there for 50 fucking years.
Right.
So I took the back panel off of his TV and I ran zip ties through them, and then I put one zip tie loop on the back, and I just hung it right from the hook. I mean, the thing weighs like fucking 4 pounds. So, it's just hanging there, and it just hangs perfect. And I plugged it in. I have electricity.
How are you going to broadcast to this television? Because obviously you're not putting a box out there. So
no, I have Apple TV. I just ran I just put the line out the fucking window from my daughter's room.
Okay.
I had an old my first Apple TV that I had like 6 years ago.
Right.
So, and it was just sitting around doing nothing. So I just took a bunch of garbage and I made use out of it.
Okay.
So but the Apple TV's in the house because it needs to pick up the Wi-Fi. So I just put the cable out the fucking window and into the back of the TV.
Who's your service provider?
I have Verizon.
Oh, that's a beautiful thing. I switched from Verizon to Optimum, and my Wi-Fi sucks now. Anybody out there that would like to leave a comment about how shabby and just disgusting Optimum online is ridiculous. So anyway, we've been dealing with, because my wife's working from home and she's doing a bunch of Zoom meetings and virtual teaching and everything else like that. So the internet basically crashes at least once a day, and it just reboots all automatically, just throws you off. And that's so crazy, like in the middle of like a conference call. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean because it happens to us all the time when we do the fucking podcast.
Yeah, but it's not your internet provider. That's the actual program we use.
No, I mean in the early stages of it, it probably was your internet provider.
No, I had Verizon at that time.
Oh, you had Verizon then?
Yeah, and I recently switched because Verizon was charging me an arm, a leg, and a head for my service. So
you fucked up.
So I basically took the miser way out and switched to Optimum, and one of the worst decisions I've ever made. One of the worst
You can go
decisions.
back and get just I don't fucking have cable, dude. All I have in my house is internet from Verizon.
Right,
It's like $100 a month,
right,
and I have all smart TVs and Apple TV
right.
device. And I did that, and I never looked back, bro. I was paying fucking $300 and something a month.
My point exactly. If you have like the triple play, the phone and the cable and the internet, you're paying like a king's ransom. You know what I
What's the
mean?
point of that? Why would you do that willingly?
Well, to be honest, my family are big DVR people. They love to DVR everything that all of these shows, and like they like to binge watch shows. And my
Well,
my son,
welcome to
my
the
son,
future.
my son is basically he's easy because I have, I believe it's 5 boxes. Now, in his bedroom, I don't have a box, but he has a smart TV, and he's fine with that because he's not, once you just start streaming the shows that he likes, that's all he needs.
There's not a show on the planet that is only on TV anymore. Every
Right,
show that your family watches is filed in a neat fucking manner. Episode 1, season 1,
right,
every season of every fucking show is available online.
right,
There's no reason for DVR boxes. Smart TVs and everything they want to watch is there and more in
right.
excess. You're throwing money out the fucking window. Get rid of it.
I most certainly am. And plus, shabby internet service to boot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they sucked. I had to get rid of them motherfuckers, bro. I had them.
Right,
I had them.
right,
I mean, Verizon is definitely better as far as like those stupid outages go.
right,
They used to tell me they'd be like, "Oh well, the technology on your block, you have old wiring in the whatever. It's not fiber optic or whatever." I don't know what the fuck bullshit excuses they would tell me for cable, whatever the fuck it's called, Optimum. And I
right,
just had enough of it. I was
right.
like, "Fuck you, I'm out." And then Verizon came and they
and
did the damn thing.
and the rest was history.
That's it. And all that shit like that. You know what I mean?
So yeah, the we just talked a bunch about all of this stuff that was going on and everything else. Do you notice though? Do you notice that with all of the uproar and the protesting and everything else like that, we've COVID has taken a back seat to all of this stuff, hasn't it?
I have noticed that, and it's a weird thing. Like, somebody on my Facebook posted a picture of one of these protests where everybody's like fucking 1,000, 2,000 people in the shot,
Right.
and it's like, and it wrote on the bottom, and just like that, no
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
coronavirus.
I saw that. I saw that too. And
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 I'm like, shit.
and the funniest part about the whole thing is you can't have a socially distanced protest. You know what I mean?
Nah, you can't.
There's
Definitely not.
there's no way to do that. So,
Well, we don't know what's gonna happen.
right,
So we don't know if, if 14 days from now there's going to be a massive fucking outbreak of corona. We don't know.
right.
But
As I was
everyone
pulling
looks
up,
fine to me.
as I was pulling up to your house this morning,
I just farted. Go ahead.
as I was pulling up to your house this morning, right?
Yeah.
I was listening on the radio and they said I was unaware of it. There's some big party that they had in the Ozarks, some big like the beaches were crowded, people in the water and the pools and everything else like that. Did you hear about that?
I think I did. Yeah.
So anyway, these people were in the Ozarks and they were partying like it was no tomorrow, right?
Right.
So they said that was on a Saturday, and the Sunday, one of the people that were at that particular event tested positive for COVID.
Yeah. See, that's not good.
So, basically, you know, I don't know. I guess people are in that much of an uproar. A, that they don't care, and B, people have been at bay and been at home so long They just want to get out. So it's like, yes, I'm going to go protest just to get out the house. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's not a good enough reason for me to get out the house,
No,
but
I'm
I
not
hear
talking
you.
about you personally, but can you see how mass numbers of people could assemble in this way just to get out of the house, man? Just to have
I
something to
don't
do.
see. I get it, but I mean, shit. Like, go ride a bike or something. Like,
Right,
go get your dick sucked. Is this? I was watching on Facebook today the multiple live videos of people that were at like these protests. I got a couple kids in Philly on my shit
right, right,
that are there live, and I'm just watching what's happening. I'm more listening than watching because you see, you're watching. There's a fucking 1,000, 2,000, 5,000. I don't know. There's a lot of people in Philly today,
right.
and this car's on fire. But listening to what these people are saying, first of all, it's 85% white hippies,
Okay.
and they're just they sound like goofballs. They're running around like fucking just like, hey, they're spray painting all over shit. They're laughing and giggling. Like it's more about them. This is like, and I hate to say this, but these are like the definition of fucking white privilege, bro. These fucking protests, you got a bunch of fucking hippie white kids running around spray painting shit in front of the fucking cops. Furthermore, exhibiting their fucking white privilege. Is that what this is about?
I agree with you on
What the fuck? What is
I
the
agree I
point?
agree I agree on the level of the whole privilege thing. I posted did you read my post today?
No.
Okay.
I
No.
don't think so.
Well, anyway, I read a post today. I wrote a post today. And basically what I was saying is that I don't expect Caucasian people to understand how black people feel. It's the same thing as like if you lose a parent and the person wants to feel empathy for you, but they've never lost a parent. There's no way that you can even conceive that feeling until you go through it. If you've never actually lived it, then you can't really understand it. You
Nah, how
you
could
can
you?
you can be empathetic to it. That is definitely true. You can definitely be empathetic, but you can't understand the feeling. And what I was saying, basically what I was saying is the whole make America great again, just as a black person, now you scroll back in your Rolodex and you say to yourself, well, for me and my people, when was America great? Like at what period was America great for my people? And the thing about it is not because, and people will fire back at me undoubtedly and say, "Oh well, there are many African American professionals and actors and sports people and everything else like that. People that are black entrepreneurs that own businesses and everything else. That's fine, but there's still a stigma to them with the color of their skin. Still, you understand what I'm trying to say?
I get it. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I always thought the fucking "Make America Great Again" slogan was just corny, just because of what is the sentiment behind it? It's always been corny. I think it's like a cool acronym for his campaign, and that's why
Right.
the MAGA. Like, I never fed too far into the whole thing about making America great again. I don't again what to what standard? Like you're saying, like to me, and I
Let's
mean,
go through the time periods. Let's go through the time periods from the moment that this country, the inception of this country, right? The moment that the State of the Union was formed until now, if you break it down into time periods for African American people, show me the actual time period for black people where America was great.
that's a pretty blanketed fucking statement
It is.
because you're black and I'm white, and we basically live the same exact life.
Right. No,
And
no, no. But
so,
but but here's the thing. What I was trying to say, remember, I just said most people would look at me and say, "Well, look at your lifestyle, look at how you live, and everything else like that." And that is true. I'm not saying that they're not affluent people of that are black or that are Hispanic, that are Asian, that are Indian, or anything else like that. What I'm trying to say is no matter how successful you are, no matter how much of a good person you are, how much of a bad person you are, no matter what, the first thing people see when they see me is they see a black man. Now, I have to now, because I'm black, prove that I'm a good person to people. And the thing about it is, if a person is white, they could be they could be a scumbag for all you know. But the fact of the matter is, they're looked at as less of a threat or non-threatening, less threatening than me. That's my point.
Yeah, yeah, no, you're right. You're right 100%. I
So
mean,
with that being said, no matter how successful people of color become on any level, show me the point where America was great for people of color, for minorities, for people like to show me when America was great for us. Because at the end of the day, it's like basically saying, that feeling, you felt it before. You've lived with someone and it wasn't your home. Whereas even though that's where you stay, it just never feels like home to you until you have your own. America has made minority people feel this way. It's home because this is what I know, but it's not home because I have the same liberty as everyone else. If that was those two guys that the father and the son that murdered Ahmaud Arbery, would you, if that was a white jogger that was coming out of uh that construction site, do you think that they would even gave it a second thought to go and say anything to this guy if he was white?
I don't know. I mean,
I doubt
I
it.
think
I highly doubt it.
I don't know the situation with that house. If these dudes were just some nosy fucks that live there that are watching everybody come and go through the property, then yes, I do think they would be a fucking, real inquisitive and nosy about what's happening. But would they be as intimidated by a fucking skinny, lanky white kid that's over there? Would they would G up on a white dude like fuck you, stop? They wouldn't get the guns. They'd probably try to press him physically without
Right.
guns.
Right.
They are like you said, they are scared of a big, muscular, running black dude. That's the thing, and it is what it is. It ain't gonna change, bro. White America, the white America, especially that has always been sort of shielded from, like I say this all the time, like in New York, you have this melting pot of everybody. At most, you're gonna be hard pressed to find a white kid or a black kid that didn't grow up around white kids and black kids.
Most
If
definitely.
you,
In
so
New
you're
York,
so
most
onto like
definitely.
you're familiar with, you're not scared of people so much, like you're not, what I'm
Right.
saying, like it's people are like people. It's like you know people that look like that. You have
Right.
experience with people.
Right.
When you go to those parts of the world, and it's like these dudes were always raised to be segregated from each other and taught fuck that guy because he's black. That's where these problems arise, bro.
Right.
That's where these fucking problems arise, and they're not gonna go away until that shit changes. But that shit is old school, deeply rooted, fucked up shit.
Right.
So
Now, so you just made my point. For a black person, it is hard to find the actual time period when America was great. You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean, that's, yeah. I understand where you're coming from, but I also feel like a certain amount of that is, it depends who you ask, bro. Because if when you change positions, I mean, there'll always be the element of ignorance where it doesn't matter who you are.
Right.
If you're black, you could be a fucking millionaire, billionaire. You could be the richest guy in the fucking world, and you can encounter racism with some stupid white trash idiot.
Right.
So You could just be minding your own business, coming out of the bank that you just cashed $1 billion fucking check, and you're still gonna have that stigma there.
Right, but see
But
that the thing about it, what makes it bad is the same thing. It's like even a small microcosm is what makes it bad, even in your neighborhood. If you are outnumbered, right, and you are not able to control the narrative, it really doesn't matter what your status is. People are gonna just you're gonna be overrun because you're outnumbered. Now, the reason why people of color are called minorities is because white Caucasian white people outnumber black people in this country. Period. End of story. Right? The
I
reason
guess I
why
don't know.
they do, that's what majority and minority, that's what it is. It's about numbers. You know what I'm saying? However,
Sure.
now the whole thing, like even with the healthcare disparities, right? Even with the healthcare disparities, when they say a lot of the people in minority areas have more cases of diabetes, high blood pressure, more heart disease, more cholesterol, and obesity, and everything else like that. I, at the end of the day, when you see these healthcare disparities and you see these health conditions that most people have, it's not just because we're predisposed to it or anything else like that. It's because of lifestyle. It's because of economics. It's because of I can only eat processed things that I can afford. You understand what
Whose
I'm
fault is that, bro? Because I'm a fat fuck because I eat like shit and I always have. So
right? Here's the thing. If you chose right now to only eat healthy and clean, you could afford to do it.
dude, anybody could afford to do it nowadays.
Okay.
Like if you could afford to eat like shit, you could afford to you
That's
could
not
afford to
that's
not.
not necessarily true.
What do you mean? Why
Because
not?
if you all
A-
right,
average dude,
one of the
what
one of the
even
worst things that you can put in your body, one of the worst things that you can put in your body are ramen noodles. How much do ramen noodles cost?
$1 a pack?
Less than that.
I don't know. When you buy them at the bodega in my corner, they're $1.
Eh,
So,
I'm
but I
just
don't
saying,
buy them.
but I'm trying to say is anything that you can buy cheaply in mass quantities that is mass produced and processed is terrible for you to eat. And
Absolutely.
these are the things that you can find in supermarkets for 10 for 10 or 5 for 10 or 10 for 5 or whatever. Like big sales. So when you now trying to stretch a budget, you'll probably end up buying things that are not as good for you as they should be, that could cause you to now have conditions because of the way you eat.
I believe that that's definitely true, but I also believe a certain amount of the point you're trying to make is horseshit. Just because if like, all right, so you're saying that these people have money to buy food on some level.
Right.
They have a budget for food.
Yes.
What is it? What is the daily budget for food? What is it
I don't
like?
know.
Whatever. If
But
you go and you spend $20 on chicken thighs, you be in chicken thighs for the fucking week. You get a giant bag of rice, you get a head of lettuce. If you want to eat good, you can. It's the maybe the fact that people weren't taught in these neighborhoods like, yo, like, you start off eating like shit forever and you just think, all right, I'm gonna eat some noodles.
right.
Because me, myself, and I, when I lived in my sister's house in
Mhm.
Hempstead, when I was just becoming a fucking young man, 20 years old, I didn't have no fucking money.
Right.
I went to the store. I ate noodles. I ate fucking Popeyes because at the time the combo was fucking $2.99 for the three-piece chicken. You know what I'm talking about? It was
Yeah.
the three-piece
Uh-huh.
chicken fingers and the French fries and the drink, $2.99. Almost every fucking day. And at this point, I could do it, and I was still not a fat fuck. But I never at any point in that until I started getting older and putting on weight did I say, maybe I shouldn't eat like this. I just thought I was eating. And if somebody was like, would you like a salad with grilled chicken sliced over it? I'd be like, fuck no, I want the Popeyes.
Right.
because I didn't think about what it was doing to my health
Who taught?
because nobody fucking taught me that.
But who taught you to shop?
No one taught me to shop.
That's
I
my
would
point.
follow like
That's my point. What I'm saying is, here you only gonna do what you were taught to do. It's the same thing like when people cook. Even if you go and you buy chicken thighs, right? If you're not taught to broil or to bake, and you're taught to fry all the time, because that's the person that taught you how to cook, taught you how to fry, and taught you how to smother things in gravy and everything else like that, then you're gonna grow up and you're gonna cook like that too. And the
absolutely.
same conditions that your uh uh parent or guardian, whoever taught you, the same conditions that they got, you're gonna get.
100%. And that's a rough cycle to break, bro. I grew up in an Italian household. Everything is pasta, everything is bread,
Right,
everything is fried cutlets,
right,
fried whatever. You know what I'm saying?
right,
So besides, obviously that's how you learn to style your food when you're cooking, but when you get older, you have a responsibility to yourself. Like, I know that is a fucked up way to eat. And even with trying to lose weight and doing the right thing with exercise and shit, it's so hard to break out of that. And that's more of a like a mental, like a fucking, you need to have that willpower to stick to it. People know, bro. Like, I understand younger people and people that don't have people telling them as they grew up what's right and wrong. But when you become an adult person, when you're an adult, you no longer have the right to blame anybody for the circumstances you're in anymore, in my opinion. Many people might not think this is right, but when you could stand on your own too, and you're an adult, obviously, like you said, like there's certain things that you're going to experience that I'm not going to experience because you're black, and people are going to look at you like, right off jump and be scared and be intimidated, maybe more by you than me.
right.
But you still have every opportunity that I have to go out and do what the fuck you got to do and tell everybody to suck your dick behind it. Like, fuck
Well,
you. I'm going to do me.
here's the other thing too. Here's the other thing, right? That is very like messed up. As far as let's just say, even about the whole food thing. You are absolutely right when you say you're an adult, you can make better decisions and everything else like that. But if you're not pointed in a direction, then it's going to be hard for you to make that decision. You have to be pointed in that direction. There, when you took the test to get your job, you didn't just wake up and say, you know what, I'm going to go and file for that test. You had to be pointed in that direction.
That's all I knew. My grandfather worked there. My father worked. It was like, yeah, I don't know what else the fuck I'm going to do.
Okay, but that's my point. My point being, that was your point in that direction. That wasn't, you didn't just conjure that out of the thin air to go do that.
Nah, I definitely, and I tossed around other ideas in my head
Right.
before that.
Uh-huh.
And then I was like, I don't have these opportunities because I didn't go to college.
Right.
And in my family, like I sometimes think about it now when I look at other kids I went to school with and shit. And like back in those times where everybody was graduating from high school and they were going away to college, and I'm sitting there like, I'm having the greatest time fucking doing nothing and selling weed and fucking popping pills with my friends. And I thought I was the fucking man.
Right.
And then, these dudes went away to college for 4 years and came out. And by the time I was done partying sort of and they got out of college, then I went and got the job that I got. And they went to college to make half of what we make.
Right.
To come out and make. So it didn't really, like, to me, it was like, I don't know. It's a weird thing. It's all about how you use the opportunity.
You're saying that it kind of evened itself out.
It was like, it doesn't fucking matter, because then now at the end of the day, I sit here and I'm like, fuck, I should have been a lawyer, or I should have been a doctor, or I should have figured out how to open a business, or I should have done something for myself, because while the amount of money we make is significant compared to a person that comes out of fucking college to make 30 grand a year, The amount of money we make is dog shit compared to a business owner that does fucking $1 million in profits a year.
Right.
Like it's and that happens all the fucking time.
Right.
So I'm not satisfied with what I did with my life. And I think that, it's all about your mentality, like how you choose to process, what you're given and what you want out of life. I feel like, there's mad people that have come out and done way better than me that I don't understand how it works. And that's the biggest problem. It's like nobody is like when you nobody is telling you how to achieve that type of success, especially when you come from an underprivileged neighborhood or you're in the hood. Like nobody really looks back and they're like, yo, let me show everybody how to fucking do what I did and get my shit together.
Right.
Nobody does that.
Right. But see,
That's
here,
one of
the point, the problem with that is if you're not going to show somebody the blueprint, which a lot of times there is no blueprint, because you can see someone who's uber successful, and if it weren't for certain things happening for that person to open up doors for that person, then they wouldn't have reached the level of success that they reached. Everybody's story, everybody's path is different. You know what I mean? Right now, what we're doing, there's a million podcasts. There's a million podcasts in that are being filmed, people are talking about the same things. There's opportunity and chance that there's going to be someone who's going to say something that's going to go viral, that's going to put a lot of attention on to the podcast that they do. Now, can that person basically turn around and say, well, my blueprint for success was this, that, and the third. And if you do this, that, and the third, you'll have the same level of success that I did. You can't really say that, because a lot of stuff like that is by chance, especially when you're talking about going into business. Because for every 10 businesses that start, at least 8 of them fail.
Yeah, it's a weird thing with this kind of business. Like this isn't a business. There's no money involved in it for us. But the thing about it is it's content. And I was listening to Joe Rogan the other day. He just signed this $100 million deal with Spotify, and it's crazy. And Kevin Hart was on there, and he was talking to him, and he was sort of like, praising him for what he's done. And Joe was like, I never thought about it. I never even thought about it like that for 1 second. All I did was show up and just do my podcast.
Right.
I just did it. And that's basically people with success in life in all forms that are trying to make something happen. Is they just fucking do it. Everybody I know that has had any success in business, they were going to do what they were doing regardless of, if they were going to be able to fucking, if it's the only thing, if you're going to be able to pay the bills at the end of the month, you have to just keep doing it. You just keep fucking working until you start having success.
Well, that's a lot of the reason why I respect Rocco, because Rocco lives what he's doing. He lives it. You know what I mean?
The thing about Rocco too is also, like, very seldom have I ever heard him talk about like money, like when the like the only time he ever talks about money,
right,
is he's like, if this film comes out and we do great and it streams a lot and we able to get money, yeah, I'm gonna take that money, I'm gonna put it back into Even the Score Part 2. Like, and it's like he lives for this shit. It's just always, it's just the thing. It's just that's it. It's a one-track focus and on the goal. And what is the goal? The ultimate goal is to be able to just fucking create and make film.
right.
And because he loves it. And that's,
well, see, now the problem with that is the steam could be taken out of your dream very quickly when you feel like there's a glass ceiling for you, where no matter how hard you try, you'll never be able to break through this glass ceiling. You know what I mean?
and that happens from time to time. We have those conversations too. It's
Right,
just,
right.
and then I have to sit here and remind what it's all about.
Right, right. It's like that can be like disheartening sometimes when you feel like you're giving it your all. You're putting all your effort and energy into something, and you just keep bumping your head. you know?
Yeah, man. I see that's the kind of the thing about me is I felt like that with basically everything I've done in my life, but I show up, but I show up part time, and but in considering what a lot of people do when they want to do something like this. I've had many people talk to me about the podcast I've done or the music or the film shit, and they're still trying to figure out how to just take the first fucking step. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
it's like you gotta step, you gotta jump off the fucking ledge, really. But the thing that'll hold you back the most is comfort. Like I can only imagine what I would do if I was ever in a position where, like right now, I don't have an income. I'm sort of like, just being held hostage by the situation that's going on in the world. Like I can't go to work because I can't see a doctor
Right.
and get cleared to go back to work. I
Right.
can't go to fucking physical therapy. So right now I can't do dick. So, and it's a terrible fucking feeling. But if I ever lost my job with, my real fucking job,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I would do. I would go super hard at something that I'm doing that I want to do.
Right.
I don't know what the outcome may be because I am a fucking crazy, tenacious fucking person. When I need something,
Right.
just comfort kills all dreams. It really is true. Like, I'm sort of in this position where it's like, I'm just kind of just floating by, gliding in life.
Right. But
And it's really a bad place to be.
it's you don't you're very reluctant to take a chance when you have like that safety net. You're reluctant to take chances when that hedge is removed from you. Like when you see right now, when your money is basically, you like you said, you have an income, and you can pretty much not only count on your income, but you can forecast where you're going to be from here to here, and it's going to take you here to here to get X amount of dollars to do whatever you need to do, right?
But I don't have an income.
No,
So
I'm
this
talking
is,
about
this
I'm
is,
talking about just a regular person that has an income.
oh, yeah, yeah. Person that has an
A
income.
person that has an income, you can pretty much, when you can bank on that and pretty much forecast what, like where you are and where you're going to be, right?
Yeah.
That invites complacency in you, because now you don't really want to take the leap of faith chances, because then that will upset the apple cart in this cushy comfortable situation that you have on this side.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing about it, and it's becoming more and more apparent to me as I sit here and fucking
Mm-hmm.
just hope for the best.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care about you, dude. They just don't care about you. The apple cart, the fucking
Right.
your steady shit is just it don't care about you. If you have a job, you're a number.
Right.
If you're punching a clock somewhere, if you didn't show up tomorrow, they hire somebody else.
Right.
So, I mean, I guess the thing is, if you really want to do something, do it. Just fucking do it and go for it. But there's no fucking, and this is what I said earlier. It's like there's no real plan. Nobody's telling you how to do it. You have to get out there and just fucking do. And
Right.
that's sort of what we've always done with the film shit. We like making films, so we just make them. There's no fucking pot of gold or no shit like that. It's just
Well,
how do you make a film?
that's what we do with these episodes. We talk. The funniest thing about this podcast is the same thing that we've always said. If we had like a tape recorder going from the many conversations that you and I have had, it's just sharing with the world the way we talk. And basically, even the things we talk about, we throw 50 pounds of shit against the wall and see what sticks. Basically, that's what it is.
I think so. I think with these podcasts, the podcasts that we do lately, it's been very topical about what's happening in the world and how could it not be? I mean, we're so engulfed in just the current situation with first it was Corona and now it's this stuff with all this, the riot stuff and what's going on with
Mhm.
everything else, and it sort of like kind of dictates a narrative that we have to take. And me personally, I don't fucking. It's not that I don't care about what's happening in the world, and this is like when I go on Facebook and shit, uh, I wrote something I wrote on Facebook before. I was like, it's funny. I'm on Facebook reading the people that are writing the play by play of what's happening with the riots that are going on in the world. And then in the comment section, you have people arguing with them about their support of the riots. So, because some people are like pro riot and some people are not. And they're all doing it from the comfort of their home, is what I wrote. And I said, what a fucking time to live in. So it's like, and then somebody was like, what side are you on? And I'm like, I just, got my dick sucked and ate an ice cream cone. Like, that's what side I'm on. And it's like, dude, like, that's because it's not that I don't care. It's like, I don't fucking want to fucking, like, does life have to suck now? Is that what you're telling me?
Well,
Does life,
you have to understand as well. You know why this thing is so vivid and in living color? It's because everything is shut down. Remember, there's no sports, there's no restaurants, there's no bars, there's no church, there's no nothing. You're home. So the only thing that's got people's attention right now is civil unrest. Is all of this stuff that's going on. And you got to think about it. You got a bunch of people that have cabin fever, that are just looking to get out and do something. So they're gonna go and flock to all of these things and everything else like that. The funny part about it is New York City, June 8th is the start of is the reboot of New York City. That's phase one. I believe that June 8th is phase two for Nassau County. And I forget Suffolk County. I don't know if Suffolk County is going to go to phase one or whatever. Anyway, I say all of that to say, with the reboot of things to come, now people are about to start going back to work. Now people are going to start trying to adjust to life after this pandemic, after this disease. And now that's what's going to have like everybody's attention.
yeah, I mean,
I'm sure that now once things, well, at least in the five boroughs, once you have more people moving around in the city, you're going to see less and less and less of this passionate protest, because the mob's mentality is going to be swayed into something else.
bro, this ain't the first time. It won't be the fucking last time. It's on a grander scale, but it's gonna come and pass. It's not. It can't go. This can't be a new way of life. They can't allow people to just riot and light shit on fire. And the saddest part is, like, the worse it gets, at some point, the fucking army's gonna come in and people are gonna start fucking getting hurt.
Right.
But like, you sit there now and you watch this shit, and the cops are standing down under order. But who the fuck? What mayor of what city is gonna stand by and let his city burn to the fucking ground?
Right.
How do you stop that? If people are burning the city that they live in to the ground, and you're just gonna stand there and let them? Like, it can't. This shit can't go on forever. It can't. I mean, I know people are looking for something to do and shit, but this ain't it.
Well, that's the thing, is that people have idle time. People have idle time, and they're to me
They
a
have
lot of
idle fucking brains, bro.
what to me a lot of this is not even about George Floyd. This is not even about
No.
him. This is about people revolting against the orders, the stay-at-home orders. This is people using this to take advantage and be out there doing just an activity. Because to a lot of people, this is just an activity. There are a lot of people that this means something to. I was just in my town and I saw there was some girls. They were up and down 110, and they had signs like "honk for justice." So everybody that was driving by was honking their horns, which is fine. Which that I agree with that type of protest. But when you start going with the whole like, I'm going to burn down a police station, or I'm going to spray paint a police car, or anything else like that. The thing about it is, if now the police started to take action and people did start to get hurt for breaking the law in this manner, then we would just have, it would just be total and utter chaos.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Do you know what a progressive Democrat is?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to allow me to paint this picture for you.
Yes.
And now, so when I blow off what's happening in my attitude towards whatever's happening,
right?
It's not to belittle the plight of the majority of the people that come out, but all of the states that this shit is happening in, the way it's happening and being broadcast on the news, are all progressive Democrat states, places where Democrats rule shit. Now look at this situation in at the CNN headquarters. Somebody placed a pallet full of loose bricks in front of the fucking building at CNN. What would be the point of doing that? What would be the point? So you can then film unruly crowds of people throwing bricks?
So the thing about it is that was ammo strategically placed there for people to pick the bricks up and hurl them at CNN, the building.
What a fucking photo op wouldn't that be? When you could take this picture.
But here's the thing. You don't think that what you just said is politically motivated?
This whole shit is 100 million thousand fucking billion% politically motivated. Swayed is the word I would use.
Now, is just what I said today. Back when Colin Kaepernick was taking a knee for police brutality because of police killing unarmed black people, right?
Right.
This guy was vilified as like a villain against the flag and everything. And people were so mad at the protest. They weren't mad at the reason he was protesting. They were mad at the protest. That was a peaceful protest. He wasn't violent. He wasn't disrespecting anybody. He wasn't yelling, cursing, anything. In silent protest, he refused to stand for the national anthem, right?
And what did that do? What did that do to people?
What it did was it pissed off people with privilege.
And when you pissed them off, what happened?
What do you mean? He basically
fucking divided people.
Right, but here's the thing. In that, what we say when we're talking about all of this civil unrest and this revolting and all this violence that we see and all of the property damage and people being arrested and all of the stuff that we see going on, this is post him protesting the same exact thing, which means that the narrative was switched from what he actually was protesting to the fact that he was protesting.
Yeah.
Again, the narrative is being switched from what is being revolted against to the actual revolt. So it says to me that once this dies down, the police in this country, in and around this country, will be right back to the same beliefs and practices that brought both of these reactions to fruition.
I think that this shit, the problem with police is never going to fucking change. It's always going to be the same.
Okay.
Unless the hiring process of police changes,
right?
Unless they figure out some sort of way to test the mental capabilities or which seems like in our lifetime will not happen because the people that would be administering these tests, they themselves are also probably racist piece of shit that was just inbred to be this kind of piece of shit their entire life.
Right.
So the standard for this testing is going to be flawed anyway.
Right.
So and that's a fact. That's what we've seen. It's what we've always seen.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as the police are that way, this will be that way. But if you play chess on a chessboard, there's different pieces, right?
Right.
The problem between the community, whether it be black, white, or anything, and the cops is a small piece on that chessboard that goes into the bigger equation. If you can manipulate situations and people and things that happen throughout a community, you can work toward a bigger change that you have in mind for the world.
Yes, but here's the thing. When do you actually work out that change? And who is the person that steps up and says, you know what? This change is necessary.
Dude, they want Donald Trump out of the White House so bad at all fucking costs, bro. All if you think about it, it all comes together when you think about what's been happening since the start of this new year, and this is an election year, 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Hit the ground running in fucking January.
Right.
Start planting seeds in December in Wuhan, whatever.
Right.
Hit the ground fucking running with what's happening right now.
Mm-hmm.
You have this thing that crippled the fucking economy for months.
Right.
Follow that off with this complete unrest between sides of people that'll take a side.
Right.
The diehard redneck Donald Trump supporter, that's a person. There's different levels of people that fuck with Trump, but there's that in white America, in the rest of America. That is a majority of people that feel a certain way, and they could be manipulated by how they feel about black people. So when you paint these people on the television screen to these people, they're like, what do you think they're thinking when they see, this thing happened with this guy and he was killed by this cop, but the media makes those people feel a certain way, and then the media makes black people feel a certain way.
Well, it's the same thing. You saw the picture I sent you last night, right?
Which one? Let me see.
The picture. The picture of the.
I responded to it. I remember.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's to me, it's like you just look at these fucking people and they're literally just fucking stupid fucking idiots, bro. Those two fucking idiots in the picture. Fat sent me a picture of two white kids. They appear to be working on some sort of construction site or something, and they're fucking goofing off. And one kid's got his fucking knee on the neck of this other kid, and they're playing with the situation like it's a fucking situation you could play with in that way. But in their fucking world, it is.
Right.
It fucking is.
Right. But see,
they don't live in reality.
But see, that's why I said I don't expect. See, like you and a couple of other people that I know, you guys have been inundated with color for throughout the time of your life. You've been inundated with so much color in your life that you have a different perspective, right? You still,
it's a human thing though, dude.
But what I'm saying is, look at where you grew up. If you grew up in Middle America, in the Bible Belt, do you think that you would think the way you think?
I can't say, and I can only go off like a picture like that. Apparently not.
Right. Apparently, because you've been, like I said, you've been inundated with so many different types of people. Hispanic people, Asian people, black people. You've been inundated with that many people, that many types of people, that many types of cultures, and then levels of those different cultures. You understand what I'm saying? You've been around people that have nothing. You've been around people that have everything. I too have been around people that have nothing. Then I've been around people that could spend my life in one transaction. You understand what I'm saying? At the end of the day, when you have that type of range in the people that you've been around, it's less of a chance that you could be manipulated by stupidness without you seeing, like, trying to check and say, well, I don't really agree with that because I know different, because you've had a range of experience. When somebody has a small window of experience with only a certain type of people, when they encounter other types of people, they don't even know how to react to that.
I mean, there's a certain element of like, I know that those two guys thought that was a funny joke, right? That's
Right.
funny, right?
Right.
At what point do you say like a joke is a joke?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but it seems when you look at that picture, it seems like the man's life means nothing. It's just the punchline of a joke.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Mm-hmm.
like, and even with, I noticed a lot of people around 9/11 out of the state.
Mm-hmm.
People thought it was, it was cool to make jokes, but that shit hurt us, man.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That shit, like, you knew somebody that died in that shit, or you knew somebody that was, suffering the loss of a parent or an uncle or an aunt. It was a lot of people that died over it, and then, somebody in fucking Nebraska's on TV making a fucking joke about it. It's like it's all perspective and all like relative to your experience with life, and
I
we
gotta,
just don't.
I gotta like I'm not saying no names or anything, but when I first got on the job, there was a guy that worked there who he was married and his wife was like stepping out on him, right? And
Yeah.
so she was she was actually, out and about with, with her side piece, and he followed her and basically like he followed her and he basically like took her car, right? So the next morning when she was, going to work and everything else like that, she came out, no car and everything else, trying to find the car, reporting it stolen and everything else. Needless to say, she couldn't get to work. She was on her way to the train to take the train into the city to go to work at the towers. When all of this stuff was happening to her, that's when the planes hit the building and the towers fell. Had this been a regular morning, she would have been in there and she probably would have died.
So basically, some side dick saved her life.
basically. Basically. That's
Oh.
crazy, right?
I mean, it's an interesting fucking perspective. Certainly, that the husband knows about it now, and he stay with her?
I have no idea. I just know up to that point of the story, I know that her life was spared because of her infidelity.
Jesus Christ! What I mean, thank thank God for that.
I mean, hey,
That
if you could ever look for a reason to say cheating is good, you could just pull out that story.
I mean that bitch should have left her husband that day and been like, listen, this dick saved my life. It's been real. But we are clearly, if I was just with your bum ass, I would be dead. We are clearly not meant to be. Happy trails. Till next time. Fuck out of here.
You know
Life
what?
is funny, man.
You know what? I heard, just to end it off though. You know what I heard? I heard that the first family of reality TV, Miss Kylie Jenner, Forbes is saying that she's a fraud. Her billionaire status is fraudulent.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're saying Miss Jenner is not really a billionaire. That the things that she's been reporting to them has been like inflated numbers.
Oh, so she only has a couple 100 million?
Right, only a couple 100 million, but she doesn't. She's not in the big Billy club. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I mean, I'm gonna write her a sympathy card.
I said
That must be rough.
when I heard about it, I was like, oh boo hoo. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Fucking, she went for sushi probably that cost monthly fucking mortgage payment, bro.
exactly. That's what
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
my point. You know what I mean? But
I
yeah,
don't
you know.
I don't care about none of the affairs that occur on reality TV. My wife watches that shit, and I'll be honest, I'll they'll catch my ear sometimes. I'll start looking at it. I'm like, this is ridiculous, but I
Right.
can't stop looking.
Well,
It's
I
fucking
mean, the
fun.
thing about it is that we Americans become rich off of dysfunctionality. Look at like the whole Basketball Wives thing. I always said like Basketball Wives, Love and Hip Hop, everything else like that. All of these chicks that have careers over the fact that they slept with someone who was someone, not because they were someone, but they became someone because they slept with someone that was a someone.
Right.
I'm like, what is the skill? What is the talent? What is that?
The talent, I guess, is to have no shame, is to be like, like even with Kim Kardashian,
Right.
Ray J.
Right.
Just to suck that fucking cock on camera and be like,
Yeah,
yep,
I mean,
that was me sucking that
her,
cock.
her biggest but look how rich and successful she's become.
She could buy and spend Ray J 1 billion times. That motherfucker don't got as much money as her.
Hey, listen, he's trying to make it back though. He's got those new earpods out.
Yeah, he's hustling the fucking
Raycon,
Yeah, the Wish headphones. The fucking $10 headphones. All right, man. We're at an hour over here. Let's not fucking push it. Everything went off without a bang today. And let's tell these motherfuckers we'll see you soon. And
all right, that's episode.
Probably gonna drop this. I'm gonna upload episode 16, and then we'll probably drop this shit midweek.
All right.
Whatever you want to do. But thank you guys. Thank you for tuning in to the Prime Podcast, and we'll see you next time.
See you soon. Peace.
Bye-bye.